Oblivion Remastered is here, and if you're a new player or haven't touched it since it came out in 2006, I'm here to help you out. These Oblivion Remastered tips are essential to get to grips with The Elder Scrolls 4, as the game has a number of quirks that make it very different from the hand-holding we're used to in RPGs nowadays, so allow me to begin. Before you leave the sewer area at the beginning of the game, you get the option to alter your build. This is the only time you can do so in the game, so make sure it's suited to your chosen playstyle or you may regret it later. If you've not got the Deluxe edition of Oblivion Remastered, then skip to the next point because this might give you some armor/weapon envy. To find the Deluxe Edition armor, horse armor, and weapons, you're going to need to go around the Imperial City, it's marked on the map, and ask NPCs about rumors. They'll almost always be an option in the dialogue menu, so keep asking different NPCs until 2 separate quests appear in your log. They'll be titled A Wound in Time and Burning Trail. To get the Mirunes Dagon Cataclysm set, which includes the Weapons of Cataclysm, Armour of Cataclysm, and of course Cataclysm Horse Armour, you have to complete the Burning Trail questline. This explainer is very easily missed, but is an essential part of the game. When you hit that level up, you need to find a bed that doesn't belong to anybody, or score yourself a house or room to stay at. If you clear a cave of bandits or marauders, you can use their bedrolls if you're out in the wilds, which I recommend doing to save you travelling back to a town. You can tell when you're waiting on a level up because an arrow symbol will appear in the top right-hand corner of your screen. But if you want to sleep somewhere with more comfort and have a free chest to store things in, then take heed of the next point. You'll want a place to rest and store items early on in your journey, and the small, free inn room in Ayleswell, just north of the Imperial City, along the Red Ring Road, is a great place to do both. You'll need to successfully complete the 0 visibility side quest picked up in the town to get the room. When you do, you can return here whenever you like to rest for free and store items in the chest of drawers by the bed without worrying about the items disappearing. You can also store your stolen goods here until you find a fence to sell them to. Jump to the Thieves Guild section to learn how to unlock fences. Much like real life, diseases have negative effects on stats like your fatigue, which can make combat more difficult than it needs to be. You can pray at a chapel, invest in a cure disease restoration spell, drink a potion with a cure disease property, or eat a mandrake root or shepherd's pie to cure any diseases you may have. You have to keep a Mortar and Pestle in your inventory to make potions in Oblivion. You can grab one for free once you join any Mage's Guild, which you should do, even if you're not planning on being a mage. To craft concoctions, select the Mortar and Pestle in your inventory. If you select an ingredient before doing this, you'll just eat it, you freak. When making potions, note that you aren't able to combine ingredients that don't share a trait in common. Both have to have the Restore Health trait, for example, to mix the potion together. Ingredients do weigh 0.1, so if you're like me and are a bit of a herb kleptomaniac, then they will contribute a significant amount to your encumbrance and weigh you down. Crafting potions not only levels up your alchemy skills, but you can also sell them, so it's a win-win. Is this ethical? No, but you're still here, so we're going to hell together. Join the Mage's Guild and grab every single alembic, mortar and pestle, and the other potion-making paraphernalia you can see. It's not stealing, as you can just take them, there's no red hand alert here, so go buck wild. These can be sold for a pretty penny, so simply do this at every Mage's Guild and you'll be rolling in gold fairly quickly. Likewise, joining the Fighters Guild allows you to take all the weapons that aren't nailed down and sell them to a merchant, so free money. Well, free for you, not for the porters who have to repurchase essential supplies for the guilds. One of the most famous examples of leveling up skills just by doing them is leveling up your acrobatics skill by constantly jumping everywhere, and it does still work in the remastered Oblivion. You can also level up lockpicking by picking locks, restoration by spamming the heal minor wounds spell as often as possible, and so on. This simplicity means you can up certain skills very easily early on in the game. Another good one to try is simply sneaking near NPCs, and if you manage to maintain your sneak level near an NPC that's staying in the same place, you can level up sneak incredibly quickly. If you want some of the best and coolest gear in Oblivion, then I highly recommend hunting down Daedric armor, weapons, and artifacts when you can. Some pieces are tougher to track down than others, but the reward for your hard work is almost always worth it. This can screw new players over, as lockpicking is very different from Skyrim. When the tumbler is up in place, click to secure it with your lockpick, and the trick is that you have to do it at exactly the right time or your lockpick will break. On harder locks, one tumbler falling will make other tumblers fall too, which is a pain. You get an unbreakable skeleton key lockpick for completing the Nocturnal side quest, which is one of the Daedric quests I mentioned earlier. As the skeleton key is unbreakable, as long as you have an ordinary lockpick in your inventory, you can continuously use the auto attempt button to eventually force any lock open. You do need to be level 10 to do the Nocturnal questline, so unfortunately, you can't grab it right at the beginning of the game. You can buy horses at any stable, sure, but very early on in the game you can get a free horse from Prior Maborel in an early main story quest. I recommend honestly just making a beeline for the Priory as soon as the tutorial is over and you're out of jail, as the paint horse that you'll get makes travelling a lot faster. Although I do recommend completing a few of the early main quests as soon as you can for a free horse and helpful gear, Oblivion is at its best when you go exploring. Joining guilds, clearing dungeons, finding side quests, and hunting down Daedric artifacts are just some of the fun activities you can do outside of the main storyline, so don't be afraid to ignore the main quest. Asking citizens about rumours is a great way to point you towards some interesting side quests or notable areas nearby. Also, as I explained earlier, this can sometimes be the only way you can start certain quests. If you like stealing your way across Cyrodiil, you're going to need to find a fence to buy your stolen goods. One of the early perks of joining the Thieves Guild is access to plenty of fences, so it's advisable to start the Thieves Guild questline early, even if you don't plan on finishing it until later. You'll want to go to the Imperial City to start the Thieves Guild questline, and once you're there you can either read one of the wanted Grey Fox posters pasted around the city, raise your bounty and go to jail by hitting a guard or something, or talk to City Swimmer. She's actually an Argonian in Bravil, and she'll discuss the Thieves Guild. Vampirism, aka the porphyric hemophilia disease, is one of the most infamous parts of Oblivion. It can be a boon for more experienced players who like balancing feeding and sun damage issues with huge boosts to their attributes, skills, and special abilities. However, it's a real hassle to manage for most new players, and can often make just playing the game moment to moment a real chore due to almost constant sun damage, fast travel restrictions, and losing access to some NPCs. You can cure vampirism when it progresses past porphyric hemophilia, but it can take a while unless you have access to the Font of Renewal as part of the Vile Lair DLC, so it's generally best to try and avoid vampirism completely during a first playthrough. And there you go, those are 16 tips that will help you new players get to grips with Oblivion. Please, if you are playing it for the first time, then let me know in the comments what you think of it so far. It has a number of quirks, but I truly love it. And if you think there's anything else that new players need to know, then do let me know in the comments, as I might do a follow-up video to this one. If you found this video helpful and would like to see more Oblivion content, because it's basically my life now, feel free to subscribe to Eurogamer for more videos about video games almost every single day. Now, I am going to go and, guess what, play Oblivion, so I'll see you folks next time.